So now we've got a little bit of part writing started here. Yay. We've been off the part writing train here for a little bit. We need to get back on the wagon. We're just doing 2 chord progressions here. What do we need to especially look out for when dealing with modal mixture in these 2 chord progressions? What was the key concept in the book? Do you remember what it said? Look out for.
Look out for.
We've got flat 6. Right, and if we're using our major dominant, if we're going any chord that has a flat 6, which could be either of our predominant 2, if we use 2 diminished, or if we use minor 4, that'll have a flat 6 in it. If we go to the dominant and raise the leading tone, what trouble can we run into? The augmented second, right, between flat 6 and raise 7. So we gotta look out for that. Just like in minor mode, it's the same kind of deal. But first we have 7 to 1. Key signature for B major.
5
sharps. 5 sharps. I'm just going to write it in here once for him. Scale degree 7 in key B. A sharp. It's a big deal, right? We need to make sure. So we got A sharp, C sharp, E, and diatonically it would be G sharp, right?
Yeah.
But since we're doing fully diminished, it needs to be G natural. So when we're dealing with 7, when we're making it from half diminished to fully diminished, all we have to worry about is lowering the 7th of the chord, which is scale degree 6. Okay, so we're making it flat 6. First inversion, what goes in the bass?
C.
C sharp. I'm going to be harping on you that all semester. All next semester too. So the rest of the voicing, it doesn't really matter. I usually prefer to do kind of an open voicing so that I've got some room for things to move around. C sharp, I've got an A sharp. I'll put G here. And E up here to open up that voicing. So now, how should we resolve this? There's certain scale degrees here that want to resolve a particular way, right? So number 1, leading tone should resolve to Do. So we've got that in the bass, going to Do. Does that give us a first inversion 1 chord?
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so that's a nice thing about this is we know if we have C sharp in the bass, we're leading it up to D. Alright, I'm sorry, I'm not in the right place.
Yeah.
Not the leading tone, but rather scale degree. What would C sharp be in the key of B? 2, right. So we've got scale degree 2 going up to 3. Could it, if they didn't force us into going to 1/6, could it have come down to 1? Yeah. Alright, so we have that option. Scale degree 2 is flexible, it can go up or down. That's cool. The leading tone is A sharp. A sharp should go to
B.
B. So we're forced into that move right there. Not a big deal. We've got a B, we've got a D sharp, we probably want to have an F sharp. Which tone should go to F sharp? Tone or tones?
G.
Right, so we're talking about required voice leading. So say we have the leading tone has to go A sharp to B. We also have a member of the chord that always wants to resolve a particular way.
But 6.
But 6, so normally when we're altering a tone, we want it to resolve down, right? But also, it's the 7th of the chord. And the 7th of the chord always resolves
By step.
which way?
Down by step.
Down. Okay, so that's one of my mantras, so you're all going to say this with me. The 7th of the chord always resolves down by a step. 7th of the chord always resolves
Down by step.
7th of the chord always resolves.
Down by step.
Okay, say it every day to yourself.
I'll write it on my mirror.
You should. They say 15 times to really get a concept drilled in. So every day, down by step. So G natural is coming down by step. Yay! What should we do with the E? scale degree 4, what does 4 often want to resolve?
3.
Down to 3, right? That would leave us with a doubled third. Is that okay? Yeah, it's okay. We could do that.
Especially if it's inversion.
What is that?
Inversion. It's okay. Usually in one word. Alright, and really those voice leadings can happen in any voice, right? We could have put any of those in any voice. You guys probably picked different choices there. E flat, key signature.
D A.
We got one chord going to flat 6 in first inversion. So 1, got my E flat. What should I double?
E flat.
Probably the E flat. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the soprano just because I want to.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to choose this voicing.
That's what I did.
Alright.
Yeah.
So we've got flat 6 in first inversion. So let's figure out that chord first before we write anything. So flat 6, E flat, what is scale degree 6?
C.
C. So I'm just going to go ahead and write C, E flat, and G. And then I'm going to apply modal mixture. So I'm going to do this a different way now, and I'm going to say, when I'm dealing with this chord, I know I'm dealing with flat 3, flat 6, and flat 7 in my modal mixture, right? There's no dominant, so I don't need to worry about raising a leading tone. So, what are the modally mixed scale degrees that are here? I have flat 6, which is C, and I have flat 3, which is G. So one of the common mistakes made is remembering to do a C flat, but forgetting to do a G flat. Very common mistake. You get all excited, like, yeah, I got my flat 6. But then you forgot the flat 3 as well. Same thing happens when dealing with flat 3 because we have lower third and we have lower scale degree 7. So I'm in first inversion. Look at that common tone in the bass. Isn't that nice? That's great. What else? What should I do here? Some smooth voice leading. Contrary motion is a good thing. I like contrary motion.
And the B activity.
How about the B flat to the C flat?
Yes.
That's very nice, half step, right? Would we want to go from the G natural to a C flat? That'd be pretty awkward, right? G natural, C flat. No, I don't like it.
G to G flat.
G to G flat, we can do that. That's cool. Or if we had put the G flat in a different voice, like say if we put the G flat in the tenor, we would have some cross relations going on there too. So we don't want that either. So thankfully this just works out so nice and smooth. And, hey, why not just double that E flat up there while we're at it? Can we do that? Anybody do anything else with the other E flat?
Yep, I did the same thing.
Parallel octaves.
So the question is, do we have parallel octaves right here?
The same.
If it's the same note, if it's oblique motion, we can always do that. Right? It's just fine because it's not parallel octaves because it's not moving. The idea of parallel octaves is the idea that it's like the same voice is just being doubled and it takes away independence. But here, it's just an oblique move.
Are we allowed to go down to the C if we want to?
Yes, if you want to, you can go take the E flat and bring it down to C flat and double the root of the chord. So in many cases, we don't like to double the altered tones because this altered tones often want to resolve in a particular way. But if it's the root of the chord, doubling the root of the chord, yeah, that's okay.
If you want to be awesome.
If you want to be awesome. How about letter G?
Oh my.
Let's talk letter G. So I'm going a 2 to the 5, a typical progression, predominant to dominant. 2 in the key of G is
A.
Eric?
Yes, sir.
Spell out 2 half diminished. For me, please.
Okay, G. Well, I'm sorry. Okay.
So from the root we have A, so we've got an A, C, E, and G. Yeah, forget our key signature. So what do we need to alter here? E flat, right? There's flat 6. Everything else is Fine, right? We have no other 3, 6, or 7. Alright, so we're in 4-2, what should go in bass?
G.
When a chord is in 4-2, what member of the chord is in the bass? The 7th. And the 7th always resolves?
Down by step.
Down by step! So the G, let's just automatically go and resolve that.
Well, it's a good thing it requires to.
It is a good thing.
I find it.
It's a good thing that all matches up so that we end up with a 5-chord first conversion. Everything else, we can just decide where it wants to go, but the C and the tenor, put the G here, should I put the E flat here? Alright, so I've got an F sharp, I've got the 7th already resolving down by step. I've got an alter tone, which we said normally wants to resolve down. E flat down to D. That would be nice, give us the root.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Anything else in here? I've got scale degree 4. How does scale degree 4 often like resolve? To 3. Let's go ahead and do that. Can we do that?
Wait, is there?
Yeah, of course.
Right, so we see scale degree 4 and we're like, oh, I wanted to go to E. Can we do that? Is it in the chord? Is it, so you might think about those things and you're like, oh, I'll get excited about the tendency tones of how things resolve. And then it's like, oh wait, that's not a chord, I can't do that. So again, if you're not entirely sure of these things yet, go ahead and write for yourself. I know I've got a D, an F sharp, and an A. We already have a D and an F sharp. Where would be a good place for the A?
To just stay.
Oh, common tones anytime you can. Just keep it common.
Yeah, did that too.
So there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and double D.
Yeah. Sweet.
So that's what I'd like to do. A major.
Three sharps.
Tell me you got that. I like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sounds fun.
Flat 7. And key to A.
Flat. Flat G. G, B, D.
Is it G flat? Calling it flat 7. G flat?
G natural. G natural.
G natural because normally G is sharp. Right, so we're calling it flat 7. Because let's think about it. If it was G flat, what is G flat enharmonic to?
F sharp.
F sharp. What would F sharp be in the key of A?
6.
6.
No.
Alright, so would we bother
Yeah.
using G flat when we could use F sharp in the key of A?
Go down to the G.
Typically. So we're going to be using G natural here. We know we need a major chord, G, B, D. Anything else that's affected through mode mixture? G, B, D, is that a major triad? Yeah, so the next thing with flat 7, we only need to mess with the root of that chord. Then we're going to flat 3 in the key of A. That would be, what kind of C?
C natural.
C natural. Again, if we made it actually C flat, that would just make it a B chord. That would really be a 2 chord. Just spelling it difficult. Don't forget your G natural. So we're going flat 7 to flat 3. We're in root position. I'm going to do it like this. And since I'm doubling the G, I need to make sure that I don't forget the accidental on both of them. It's another common mistake. Alright, G goes to C, root position to root position. Do I have any common tones?
G to G.
G natural, my common tone. So I got a C and a G, I need an
E.
B. What should we do with the B?
Go to C.
Let's go to C natural. Again, don't forget your accidentals. The most common mistake in doing these things is understanding the concept but forgetting to do the accidentals. I think, oh, I got that, and then, Remember, we have some Hensel. You have your anthology recordings. You can listen to these. Hopefully everybody will listen to it if they should. We're in the key of F. What is happening here?
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. So I start with the 1 chord. Do I need to write 1 again for the next?
Not really.
No, we don't need to. What's happening in the third beat of this measure? What's happening right here?
Introducing
Goes
the
down.
7.
14.
So it's like a 1-4-2, right? Is that a common thing to do, 1-4-2?
No, but it sounds cool.
It's kind of a weird thing. It sounds cool though. So really, could you describe it another way rather than calling that a new harmony?
Non-chord tone.
What kind of non-chord tone would it be?
Passing.
Passing. We could say that F is passing to D. We could just call that a passing note in the bass.
So how would we like write that on our paper?
You just circle it
And write
and say P for passing. So you
So
can do that. So if you wrote 4-2, I'm not going to tick you off for that. But when we're thinking about it, right? Bass line is just passing its way down. And notice the whole trajectory of this bass line is falling, falling, falling. All right, and then downbeat of 15. I've got a D in the bass. What's the rest of my chord?
A. That's a lot of lines.
We've got FA, which makes it Roman numeral
6.
6. Is it flat 6?
No.
No, it's just plain old 6. Then I see a D flat, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, Dr. Purin is testing me in modal mixture. I'm so excited. I see a flat 6 chord, right?
Yes.
No.
Yes. No, it's a 4.
No. I've got D flat, I've got F, I've got A, but instead of A, I'm supposed to have
A flat.
A flat. So D flat F A would give me what?
Major.
Not just major, augmented.
Oh, that's weird.
Have we even done with augmented chords yet?
No.
No. Okay, so I'm not going to throw augmented chords at you, and we haven't dealt with them. We will do that this semester too. But we're not going to see it on a flat 6 augmented. That's just weirdo. All right. Again, cool. But right now it's just weirdo. Okay. Right now it's a little bit off limits. So, do I want to analyze that as a D flat, as a flat 6 plus? What makes more sense in terms of what's going on here?
Passing.
Just call it a chromatic passing. Again, just circle it. We're passing down to the C. C, I have an F and an A. That looks an awful lot like A.
5, 6, 4.
1-6-4,
Which is a 5, 6, 4.
which I told you we're not allowed to do 1-6-4s, right? Is it a cadential 6-4? Can we call it 5-6-4? Something else? No, because it's not resolving to 5-3. It's not at a cadence.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the function of this? Here,
Passing.
1-6-4 makes the most sense in terms of what we've seen. But again, really the idea is that the whole thing is passing. So we could call this a passing 6-4, it just has some extra chromatic stuff going on. Alright, so I think the best label, in my opinion, is to call that a passing 6-4. Which is leading us to B natural is kind of the goal of this phrase, right? So I've got B natural, D, A flat, there's F, that gives me
4.
it looks like 4, but I got B natural. 7 of 5, right? It's a fully diminished chord. 7 diminished 7 of 5. Does it go to 5?
It does.
It does, okay, so we have some melodic stuff happening. And then we go to 5, 5 or 5-7.
Half cadence.
5-7.
5-7 because of the B flats. And then measure 17. 1. Isn't that nice? So we've got a nice little cadential progression. So we don't want to forget our labels for the cadential progressions that we learned from Kaplan, right? 7 would be my predominant. So I'm going to label all that as my predominant, my dominant, and my tonic
I didn't.
for my cadential progression.
I didn't include the tonic. I just figured this was a long enough break. I just labeled it.
I didn't know 17 was part of it.
Yeah.
It is. It's there. Don't ignore it.
I just
Where'd
thought
it
it was
go?
cut off.
Well, they cut so that you didn't have what's coming after that. So you wouldn't be distracted by the beautiful music that comes later. But they wanted, yeah, if it's there, they want you to include it.
So it's not a half cadence.
So it's not a half cadence. And it also cannot be a half cadence. Why? What's the deal with that 5 chord that makes it not a
7.
5-7? We can't have cadences of 5-7s, right? Stupid. So we've got 1, we've got stuff. predominant, dominant tonic.
Take it.
All right, so we've got basically a passing progression leading us to that chord. Go ahead and turn those in.
Can you
So
go
we
back
took-
to H?
Again, so we took some extra time on this assignment just because there was a lot of concepts that we were able to review doing this here, right? So letter H, where?
I just didn't get it all
Right here? Okay, so G natural, B, D, we're going to C, E, G. Making sure that we're going that fifth relationship, common tone, B to C natural. And then don't forget the third. All right, so turn those in. Let us look at page 512, no, 515. Number 2. Groups 2. Let's work quickly on this one.
Alright.
So 515, spell the mixture chords requested in the major keys below. Begin with the key signature and add accidentals borrowed from the parallel minor key to spell the requested words. Get your groups in there. Jump back there with forever.
Never any reason to believe.
That's what they want to call that.
Okay, so they already gave you F major, the key signature. So let's work real quick, figuring out flat 3, flat 6, 7, and 2 diminished.
Okay. No, it's 515. 515.
515, right, number 2.
Try number 2.
Alright, so let's talk real quick. What is the quick way to do this?
Just flat 3 and 6.
Flat 3, 6, and 7 in all cases. So basically, figure out what the root of your chord is. So if you're in F major, for number 3, the root of the chord would be some kind of A. So spell A, C, E, and then flat 3, 6, and 7. Okay, so that'd be the real quick way to figure these things out. So go ahead and do that. Joe, but don't forget your class.
Says C, D flat. You got that big
Hopefully you're getting these things at this point, but remember you can always use your fingers. F, G, A, B, C, D if you need to figure out your scale degrees.
A flat.
So A flat is the B on top.
Yeah, so A flat. We're just going to do the first two, just the F major and A major.
So it's E, G, B, D, flat. And 2. D, G, with A.
Don't forget
Flat.
your clef.
E, G, B, flat. It's that flash right
That
there.
face clef.
Oh, no, it's.
So
horrible at that.
do we need to add a signature to each?
But B is happening.
Reimbursement.
Yeah.
Show flat, it goes over, do you have to write the key
One does. Yeah, don't do that. That'd be
So it's all in show flat.
Yeah, that's what I was just telling you.
I wrote it as
You wrote it.
Do you
you have to write the
Oh,
clef.
no.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought, no.
D natural, A, so D natural.
So no matter what key you're in,
Yeah.
flat 3, flat 6, flat 7 will be what's used to create these new chords.
So F, C, that's good. C, G, C natural, and G natural. Major. Major.
Wait,
Back here, check
the first one I just lowered the third.
Okay.
Flat 6. So
Okay, good. None of you fell into the trap in the 7 chord of lowering 7, right? Because we need to keep it diminished and we need to keep the leading tone raised. Work out the second one.
Just as you
C flat.
Oh, yeah.
A, C,
Heads up.
Natural.
Did you fall into the trap?
Oh, I immediately wrote it anyway. So good job, guys, for not writing it in. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Eraser.
Yep.
Because we already have it.
Nice.
You even said, yeah.
You had it, and when I walked around this way, it was
I
good.
know, I did. And then I changed it.
A for
Yeah,
it.
actually, the
Sharp.
Okay.
G sharp. Lead.
Flat C.
D.
F major chords.
Looking good?
Flat
F
seven.
natural.
Should be
A.
F natural.
Yeah, you can always just start with a diatonic chord and then apply 3, 6, and 7. Yes, sir.
High fiving.
Oh, high five.
F natural.
That was a very high five.
That's the point.
This
It's not like a mid five.
So the D has to be
F natural.
lower.
What's the formula? G sharp.
Or no, you just leave it sharp, but
G sharp.
has a raise.
G sharp.
Because right now, D sharp.
Right, so in the 4 chord, are we changing the root?
No. Oh, no, you
Right, so the only
The F
chords.
be natural.
So the other thing to think about, we know 3, 6, and 7.
B, F flat.
Everybody, come back to me for a second. So if we know that 3, 6, and 7 are our magic scale degrees for changing these things, we know the 3 chord, the 6 chord, and the 7 chord are the only ones whose roots are changed. Right?
It's 3 sharps, not 4 sharps.
So we have flat 3, flat 6, flat 7
Yeah,
possibilities.
that's what we can't.
E major is 4
Okay,
sharps.
so it's G, B,
So it's
G sharp,
flat.
which is already there.
Flat.
Alright, since we're about out of time here, let's come back together. What is more common in modal borrowing? This or this?
The second one.
Second.
Okay, this is extremely common. That's all I have for you today.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Enjoy
Nailed
the
it.
time.
Hey, y'all didn't
It's alright.
Yeah!
Modal Mixture all
Yeah.
day.